Okay, ever since I was a kid, I've always had issues with authority. I never wanted to get in trouble, almost to an extreme though. Like if someone would correct me walking in the hallway or a teacher would tell me to be quiet, it would create this pit in my stomach that I just could not recover from. And a couple of days ago, I got the exact same feeling, okay? I was driving down the road and there was a light that turned yellow. And I thought, okay, I think I can make it without running the red light. So I made it, but it was definitely very close, right? So I continue on driving, I come to a stoplight, and all of a sudden I hear these 3 honks and my stomach drops. I look to my left and there is a man pointing his thumb down like this, right? Saying, bad job. So I roll my window down to ask what happened, and he says, ma'am, you kind of ran a red light. And I just looked at him, I was stunned, I had nothing to say. And he says, you need to be very careful, right? You could hurt somebody, you could hurt yourself. You need to be more careful next time. And in the moment I had this shrinking feeling in my stomach. I was so sad, so disappointed in myself. But as I continued to drive, I thought, how kind of this man, who didn't even really know me, to stop me in the middle of the road and say, hey, that was not the wisest decision. You should be more careful. That was actually a stranger showing concern for me, showing care over my future. It kind of reminds me of those moments where we feel the discipline of God or the warning of God, right? We do something we shouldn't, we say something we shouldn't, we make a choice, and it doesn't end up all that well, and we feel that conviction from God, that disciplining, that pruning that comes from God. In the moment, that doesn't actually feel all that great. But later on, we come to realize that God's protection is actually in his discipline. God's love is in his discipline, and God disciplines his children. It says here in Hebrews 12:11, for in the moment all discipline seems painful rather than pleasant, but later it yields the peaceful fruit of righteousness to those who have been trained by it. It's just a good reminder that sometimes conviction comes from God. Discipline, correction comes from God through the Holy Spirit, or even through the people that we've trusted to speak into our lives. And while it doesn't always feel awesome in the moment, there is something incredibly loving, kind, even generous of God to speak into our lives in that way. So my encouragement to you is this: if you feel the discipline of God, don't feel shame, don't feel shrinking, but instead lean into your relationship with God, express gratitude to God for the fact that he would think of you as his child and would want to discipline you.